Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John and this video is going to be what I picked up from CX and HMV in the past week or so. But first I'd like to give a couple of shout outs. So the first channel I'd like to give a shout out today is to the channel Hard Copy Blues. Now I was recommended this by YouTube on my TV, so I thought, oh, I should check this out, as you do when they recommend you a new channel. So when I checked it out, I was quite impressed by what I saw. This guy's got some great looking shells behind him, and he was talking about things like Stanley Kubrick. His Stanley Kubrick movies got a lot of top 5s in there, top 10s, and he's talking about the movies that he likes, about Arrow, and he's got a little Criterion. I found this channel really entertaining to watch, and it looks like he's just starting out in this journey as well. So that's Hard Copy Blues. So next shout out is to the channel Electricgeek. Now I was lucky enough last night to be on the channel on a live stream with Andy, who runs Electricgeek, and he invited me on to do this live stream where you kind of talk about yourself and talk about your channel and just in general just you're growing up with media, and I think it was a really good entertaining thing to be on for myself. I really enjoyed the stream. The first guest he had on in this series was Tambs, and that was a great one to watch. So I was excited when he asked me to be on his stream for that. So the format of these live streams is to get a fellow YouTuber on and talk about YouTube in general and their experiences with it, which I found to be quite refreshing actually as a live stream. So I'll leave a link to that live stream down below, and I urge you to check it out because I had so much fun on there, and really get along to Andy's channel and have a look at his channel. He's got a great channel. He's a great guy as well. We had chats before the stream and after the stream. Unfortunately his battery ran out in the middle of a sentence, but anyway, we've cleared up all the things we were talking about, and we look forward to doing many more collaborations and collaborators, can't even say it.
Where's me ladders?
And we look forward to doing many more collaborations in the future. I had to stick Michael in there because we were talking about Where's Me Ladders last night. And I think Michael's becoming a bit of a celebrity, so I think he should get his own channel started. So that's a shout out to Electricgeek. And lastly, a shout out to Rockgod2004 Nige. Now, we are going to do a live stream tomorrow night on Tuesday. So this series of videos is going to be talking about video nasties, and I can't wait to be doing this. Me and Nige have been talking about this for quite a while, and we're so excited to have this finally come to fruition. And so yes, tomorrow night on my channel, 7:30, we're going to be live and we're going to be talking about it. Now we'll call this one, the first one, the introduction. Now we're going to talk basically about what we're going to do in this series rather than hit the ground with like section 1. So what we'd like you to do, if you come along to the comments and you comment about what you would like to see talked about, and we would take that on board and we would put that into what we're going to talk about in the forthcoming episodes. And yeah, so it's a kind of just a bit of getting to know what this thing's about, getting to know Nige. Great kid, we've been talking quite a few times behind the scenes. So Nige and myself have been talking on video calls to each other, and so we've got to know each other, so we've got a good rapport going on. So I think that'll show in these videos. This is a subject that we love to talk about. We'd love for you to come along and join in with the stream. So that's coming up tomorrow night. That's the Video Nasties live stream. This is going to be an introduction, the first video, and please join me and Nige to talk about this, aka Rockgod2004. Cheers. Speaking of shout outs, first off I'll tell you what I got from CX. Now for £1 I got The Wolf of Wall Street. Now this here is the slipcover. It's not the slipcover that came with it. The slipcover is the cover that is featured on the disc. Well, I wish I can't get out of the box. Wow.
Where's me slipcovers?
So the artwork that was on the slipcover was this artwork here. Now this is the artwork I always remember of this movie. Now when I got this slipcover here from my good friend Gary Watson on a video that you haven't seen yet, is coming up, where he sent me some amazing slipcovers, and you've got to see this video to believe it. I'm currently finishing off the last part of it. It's going to be 3 parts long. This slipcover was part of the slipcovers that Gary Watson gave us. Now the funny thing about this slipcover was I didn't even know there was a slipcover like this. I'd never seen this before. I don't know why there's 2 different slipcovers. It's just one of them things which you don't see very often, if I'm honest. And so what I did was, I didn't have this movie in the collection. I did have this movie in the collection, and I remember watching it, and I must have been in the wrong frame of mind, and I didn't like it at all. Funny enough, I don't know why I didn't like it. I know it's like 3 hours long. I know it's classed to be one of the best movies ever. It's a Martin Scorsese movie. It's got everything going for it, but I just found that I just wasn't connecting with it. But I thought, well, I do need to give this a try, because I did remember wanting to go back to it. So for £1, I thought I'll get this, put this great slipcover on the top of it. And also Arrow keeps saying they're going to put this out on a 4K and then nothing happens, but maybe they might do that. And maybe this slipcover might come in handy in the future for the 4K on a standard 4K, possibly. Depends if I like the movie or not. So I put this movie on just to check it out, just to see what I thought of it. I've got no knowledge of what it looked like on Blu-ray before this, and I've got to say the Blu-ray in here looks really nice. So I'm going to give this movie a second chance, and I do think on the clips that I watched, I thought this looks quite good actually. I do know that this movie is classed as a classic, but it's one of those ones that I didn't give too much of a chance to, and I know I didn't get through the whole thing. So I think it does need a rewatch, and thanks once again to Gary Watson for sending me this slip, and also wait till you see that video. So that's The Wolf of Wall Street. Next up for £1 I got Knowing. Now this is a strange movie because when I was talking to Keith from Euphoria Pictures, I linked down to his video down below when we did a stream together, which I had a great time with. And we were talking about this movie, and we're talking about Nicolas Cage in general, and I mentioned about this movie, and I said, you know, this was a really good movie from Nicolas Cage. I remember seeing this around about 2010, and I thought, this is a great movie, and then thought nothing much more about it. But when we're talking about good Nicolas Cage movies, I thought, hang on a minute, this Knowing movie is one of the ones that stood out to me when I watched his. I do like him as an actor, but he makes some bad movies. So this movie, if I can remember, it's something to do with the fact that he has, I think it's to do with numbers, and he sees numbers and things, and he kind of works out a code about kind of something that's going to happen to the Earth. And it's a really good movie, and it's quite one of these nihilistic movies that has this like foreboding atmosphere about something going to happen, but you don't exactly know what it is. And he knows because he's worked it out in this formula, because he's a mathematician, I believe. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember seeing it on the advice of somebody, and they said it was a great movie. Checked it out and had a really good time with it. Then you just forget about these things, and you remember them, and you think, I'll have to track this down on Blu-ray. Of course, the next time I was in there, literally the next day, that was on the shelf for £1, so I had to pick that up. So I checked it out just to see what the quality was like, and I just had a picture in mind that this was like an old Blu-ray, and it would look pretty shocking actually, but I was wrong. It had some really good shadow details. It's one of those ones where you look at it and you think, oh, this is a really nice picture. I know some Blu-rays are purported to have that, and some Blu-rays do let you down when they haven't been transferred right, a bit like 4Ks. So this one for me is a really good presentation, and it's really one of those movies by Nicolas Cage. Sometimes you might look, because he's made that many, you might not know about this one, but I do urge you to get this one because it's one of the best ones he's done in my opinion, and also it's got a great story. That's Knowing. So from good picture quality to bad picture quality. Next up for £6 I bought Hitchhike to Hell. This is released on Arrow, so it comes with a booklet, which is great. And also this is the original cover that I had on Arrow. That's the alternative cover. Now this one here, it always put me off. It's one of those covers when you look at it and you think, I'm not really interested in that one. It's funny how covers can do that. So when I saw this on the shelves at this one, I thought, oh, what's that? And I realised it was this movie, and I thought, let's just see what this is all about. So when I had a read of the back, it said, influenced by the depraved crimes of the likes of co-ed killer Edmund Kemper, Hitchhike to Hell is sleazy, queasy, all-American nightmare from the vaults of legendary exploitation producer Harry Novak, Big Box Chick.
Where's the ladders?
Right.
Big Box ticked for me, Harry Novak, who made The Child and also Toys Are Not for Children. Now, Harry Novak produced some of the most, like say, sleaziest, outrageous, low-budget movies you'll ever see. And that's why it's a big box tick for me, because that's stuff that I really enjoy. Now, I put this movie on expecting it to look pretty much trash, and it does. It looks really, really trash. It does say it's got a brand new 2K restoration from original film elements, which is fair enough. But I do think that they haven't really done much with it. They've left all the scratches on and all that type of thing, which it doesn't bother me at all. These films, when they're like that, I don't mind at all. The picture quality is actually, the colours on here are quite good. It is presented in the original square frame, 1:3:3:1, and also 1:7:8:1. Now, the 1:3:3:1 is the original scope it was filmed in, so you see everything that was shot on the movie. The 1:7:8, yes, it does build up the full screen of your TV, the rectangular TV, but you do miss bits off. It misses off loads of information on the top. Say it's going to make this square box, it would cut this bits off. You would see the girls, but you miss all this bit out there. So for me, I always go for the original scope. If I see a 1:3:3 and a 1:7:8, I will always go with the 1:3:3. But this is, it's region free as well. This looks, I'll have a minute. So the film is bad in filmmaking and also in quality. Wow. There was a scene in here where this guy gets out of a van. Now he's got like a wing mirror on his van. He opened it up and you completely saw in the mirror the whole crew filming this scene, and they just shut the door and they just leave it in. And these things, I love to see stuff like that, because I think that it's just such a thing to say, wow, they left that in. They would have seen it, they would have not had time to go back and shoot it. They just say, look, it's there, just leave it in, we're not going to do anything about it. That really is a big box tick for me. If I see something that's so done so badly, I think it's great. I don't know why it is, but I really do like that type of thing. So this movie, yes, it is, like, I'm not going to say it's trash, because if I enjoy it, then, well, that's the same with anything. If you enjoy something, it's not trash. But this ticks a lot of boxes for me, because I do think that this is the type of thing that I would really like. And I do think the cover does, that's one thing that got me interested straight away. But this other cover here, it just didn't do anything for us. I thought it was something to do with the 1950s movie, that. But it, couldn't be more wrong with that. So very interested to see this and see if this is a director. This director, I think, is called Erwin Berwick, that I would like to see more of. That's Hitchhike to Hell. So next up from CEX for £6, I got the 4K of Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Now, I thought the first movie was absolutely brilliant. Had a great time with it. And so did the Debs, so I think she might watch this one. And when I saw this one, especially for £6 and also with a slip, I thought, yep, it's a no-brainer to get this one. I mean, the picture quality might be good on it, but for £6 it doesn't matter. Even if it's not that good, that's probably what you would pay, in my eyes, roundabout for the Blu-ray. So maybe at a lower price it's worth a gamble, because you don't know what you're going to get from these 4Ks sometimes unless you research them. And sometimes you can be really let down. Now this one here is a brand new movie, so I thought, well, it should look good, but if it doesn't, at least I've got a good looking Blu-ray. I can watch the Blu-ray. For £6 I would have probably paid £6 for the Blu-ray anyway. So it's win-win either way. So I put it on just to check it out and see what it was like, and the picture quality on here is absolutely stunning. I was so amazed by it, especially at night. There's some nighttime scenes I checked out when you've got water on cobblestones. That just seems to just come to life. I don't know why it is. And it had this car chase at night and it looked stunning. The black levels on here are insane. They're one of the ones, it really stand out when you see these black levels that are done well. You think, wow, you can see everything in this like picture that's at night. So the facial features and the clothing on here is absolutely pin sharp as well. The colours are outstanding. So this is a really, really solid 4K. If you're into this type of movie, and you can see these with a slipcover, if you're into that, for £6 in CEX, you would just be amazed. It's probably going to get a little bit cheaper as well. So yeah, so these, I don't know if I'll go past these first two movies. I think the other ones, they might be alright actually. The fact that it's got Ralph Fiennes in it makes me want to check it out, because I do think he's a great actor, and I think he's quite underrated for how good he is. Some of the movies he gets in as a bit serious, but when he does a good movie that's an entertaining movie like In Bruges, he's absolutely amazing. So very excited to pick that up. I just thought, I'll give it a shot and see what it's like. Never expected it was going to be this good, but this is one of those ones where it's a absolutely stunning 4K. So that's Kingsman, The Golden Circle. So next up from HMV, we've got a new release, and the Debs was really interested in watching this, and so was I actually. I heard nothing but good things about this movie, and it would be a movie that I wouldn't read high on my radar, but because everyone was saying how good it was and how good it looked, I thought I'll have to check this out. So we got Ambulance on 4K. Now this movie is meant to be one of the best looking movies of all time on 4K. It's meant to be one of the best sounding movies on 4K. It's got Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. So I thought, well, that makes me think I want to check it out. And everybody, I say everybody, there's too many channels to actually mention who say this is a movie you should see, especially on the 4K medium. So I got it and I watched it. I think it's about 2 hours 16 minutes. So I'll not go too much into the story, just know that this movie is just like a straight up action movie. It's quite a bit of a throwback to the 90s era. It could literally be fitting in there. So I had a great time with it, and I've got to say more about what I think about it and what movies I watched on the month of July video, which is coming at the end of the month. But the picture quality is absolutely unreal. Everyone's right talking about this. Everyone's right saying that this movie is one of the most like spectacular 4Ks you'll ever see. The picture, the sharpness, the colours, everything about it is just exactly. It's like it's a demo disc. So there's a few darker scenes in here because most of this happens during the day, and it's a bright movie, but you get some dark scenes in here, but it handles everything. It's got everything that you could imagine that would be amazing for 4K. It's got the picture, the detail of the people's faces, the sort of buildings, the clothing, everything about it is just what you would expect to have for like a demo disc. And the sound as well. I knew the sound was meant to be good, but this sound in here, it's got this slightly deep bass going on, like rumbling all the way through it, and these sort of like boom, you know, they just like go through the floor. To be honest, we watched it later on, we had to turn it down quite a bit because it was starting to be, you know, a noise nuisance kind of way, because you just couldn't get rid of these like big bangs and booms, which isn't a problem, not during the day, but through the night we had to turn it down a little bit because I thought it would be one of those ones that would wake everybody up. But wow, this movie is a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's an action-packed movie. It never relents. It literally, once it starts with the action, after about the first 10 minutes, you're in this ambulance, and it just goes crazy after that. There's some amazing set pieces. There's total destruction of cars and everything. So it's very much highly recommended. And if you're wanting the latest demo disc that's been brought out, I would say Ambulance is probably one of the best ones I've seen recently, actually, especially a new release, because some of these new releases you think, oh, they're pretty good, but haven't got the wow factor. But this one here, strangely enough, is a movie that, I'm not going to say it's a low budget movie, but it's not one of the ones that really performed at the cinema. I think that people would just like turn their back on it and didn't say it was. In fact, I heard very bad reports about it from the cinema. But I've got to say, I think that this is very much worth a watch, and I do think that people have a fun time with it. Don't be too much judgmental on it, because there's a few things where you think a bit of a groan things into it, but I just think in general this movie was really good. So I'll talk about this more on what I watched at the end of the month, but the short answer is do see this movie. It's just one of the best 4Ks you'll ever see. So don't forget to check those channels out down below, and I want to thank Andy once again for inviting me onto his live stream. Had a great time with that, and please do check it out down there if you haven't seen it before, and also check out more of Andy's stuff. So also feel free to drop in on the live stream tomorrow night, where we'll talk about video nasties, which is going to be a great sort of dedicated live stream and series to video nasties. So thanks for watching, you take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers. So going from one of the best ever looking movies on Blu-ray to one of the worst looking movies on Blu-ray. Now, as you know, I do collect this set, and I had to get these next two that were out, so I went to the town this morning, I picked them up. So the first one I picked up is Treasure of the Mint.